Oops. Was that a mistake? Was that a setup? Women can get set up too. We're going to talk about it on the Ballers After Show. Next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You know I got to try and hit my bad bitch shoulder. Not try. I just got to hit it enough so that you can hit it. Hit it. Ow, 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 ow. What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the Ballers After Show, Season 3, Episode 8, Oops. We're going to get into all the salacious details, but first, I'm Jill Munroe, your host. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill, and I'm not alone to my left.
Hey everyone, it's Ivanna. You can follow me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams.
What's going on, guys? It's Nate Miller here. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate.
Hey you guys, happy Sunday. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Suzette Babb.
Ow. All right. Little Uzi Vert right there. You know, he got a long shout out in the episode, so we figured why not do the same?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Song of the summer.
One of them.
It's great to work out.
It's the one
too.
that won the won the MTV award,
we
which
could
has
say
all the
Wild
weight,
Thoughts.
so.
I mean, you know.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Jill loves her wild thoughts.
Yeah.
great.
There's some other things, but anyway, Rake. Nicki Minaj. But anyway, let's not talk about that right now. We'll save that. So episode 8, Alley Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this episode went really fast. I was excited. The storyline picked up. We got moved ahead really quickly.
Yeah.
So
Well, they have to. There's only 2 left, so
only
they have
true
to
indeed.
push
True
it all
indeed.
together.
So we were with our 4 men. You know, there was a storyline for Spencer, Joe,
Yes.
Charles, and Ricky. So we're going to kick
Yes.
it off with Spencer, obviously. And Ivana, what did you think about Spencer's little issues with his swimmers?
I mean, it's something that we already knew. Like you said before, we've been talking about this since like episode 1. So whenever they went to the doctor, I don't want to say I was hoping for something worse, but I'm like, this better be something more to it. But she was just like, oh, you have low swimmers. And we're like, duh, you know? So.
But the time is crucial. He
Yeah.
only has a very small window to
It
produce.
it absolutely is. So, but I thought it was really funny, like in the beginning, how he kind of got irritated with Chloe or whatever. So I'm like, it's that moment, like I guess when the honeymoon phase is kind of like fading out a little bit. But that was really gross that she used his toothbrush.
Yeah, I don't share.
Like, girl, what? Ew. I'm married. I don't use my husband's toothbrush. That's disgusting.
You
But
got some
She's just
peroxide and baking
comfortable.
soda.
Like,
That's
she's
too
excited.
Peroxide, baking soda, and a washcloth.
Girl.
We'll
Come
on,
shoulder through.
Listen, no, that's real. But at the end, I mean, they came together, for lack of better words. Sorry, but
You catch that one?
never mind.
They came together,
I am
she
so
said.
done. But I mean,
Wow.
he's definitely.
pretty clever.
I'm sorry. He's definitely, wearing many hats still, and he's just everywhere. So
Or he's not wearing a hat.
This is not cool. I do not think this is cool. This is
Entrapment.
Yes, because last week I called him selfish Spencer and nothing has changed. It's all about him. Now that he feels strong and now he feels like he can produce, like it's now or never. And it's like, you're going to be mad if she used your toothbrush and now look what you just did to her. So you're in it for the long run.
She's like, did you just? I'm like,
do-
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I took a little issue with that reaction because I don't.
So are they
it
even
didn't seem,
official
like,
though? That's what I'm
mad.
not understanding.
She didn't seem mad at all. And
I think she was shocked. We don't know if she's mad. Let's reserve judgment. I think she's probably processing a variety of emotions. Oh, God, I might be pregnant. Oh, God, he did that on purpose. What does that mean for us? Oh, my God, I might
Clearly,
be
they
pregnant.
haven't had the conversation they need to.
They've had no
beforehand.
conversations because
No,
they
that
were
is not
barely being
smart.
intimate because he was feeling not secure with
You're
the
right,
fact
exactly.
that he didn't know if he could produce. So he was actually being strange in the
Yeah.
bedroom.
And she just said she's
So,
about to leave.
Yeah, so
too.
out of the blue, now she's getting like the best sex and then possibly going to
That
be
was a
pregnant.
terrible decision.
And I really feel like she's like, hey, we were just hanging out, I thought. You know, like, I think she likes him, but I don't think that she's ready to,
Yeah,
be
I don't think
barefoot
so
and
either.
pregnant and running around.
I want to go back really quick to his time with the doctor, and I like that they made it that his swimmers are there. They're just moving a little bit slow, and that it's because of the lifestyle that he's lived. I like because then that helps him, hold himself accountable for those reasons, and I like that he tries to rationalize and go.
Suzette disagrees.
Sorry.
She can't hide it.
Completely disagrees.
I like that he's
Hold
going,
himself
playing the game.
accountable.
Yeah,
he
because
owes men millions of dollars because
Hello.
they trusted him. So now the fact that he feels confident that he's a man again, he's so irresponsible to then just hopefully let's just see if she's pregnant to prove that he can win.
I'm not validating
He's gonna
that.
still do his lifestyle.
I'm
He doesn't
speaking
care.
on the writer's choice of instead of him being injured or he's been impotent his whole life or anything like that. It's like, no, you're fine. It's just you're a football player. You took a bunch of injuries. You did a lot of drugs. You had a lot of risky sex. You live this lifestyle. And so, yeah, your body's taking a toll and it's kind of slowing down. So it's,
Certainly not Antonio Cromartie. That's the football player that just had his 14th child 3
Yes,
after his,
right.
yeah.
Stevie
his
Wonder.
vasectomy.
Stevie Wonder just had a baby.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
he-
did he have
What?
a vasectomy?
No, but I'm
Okay,
just
but no,
saying,
Antonio had a vasectomy
isn't
and then
he
had 3
70
children.
something?
Afterwards?
75?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man,
afterwards.
those
I
are
remember
some
that.
swimmers.
Right.
Those are some Michael
Super
Phelps.
sperm.
Very powerful.
Right.
You're not going to stop me.
Listen, for women, it is extremely hard. I mean, usually for Spencer at his age, he still would be kind of okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry now that, he's had too much fun and God forbid.
Here's the thing that I thought was interesting. I mean, maybe he just has an extreme case, but I always thought that sperm count could be built back up if you just tailored some of those lifestyle
Your
choices.
lifestyle habits, yeah.
And and maybe didn't have sex as often. I thought that was the way it goes. But, that wouldn't be an interesting plot point, I suppose.
need an
Yeah,
expert.
I would think so too, but I'm not a doctor. And the
Okay.
guy's a doctor, so
I'm a doctor.
Whatever he says.
Or do you play one on TV?
Yeah, that's what I like.
All right. All right, let's talk about Joe, guys. So Joe, meanwhile, is always there to clean up Spencer's mess.
Yeah.
This time, Joe is really concerned about the associates at their company, as he should be. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been through a corporate takeover or layoff type situation where a larger company buys your company. It's the suckiest thing in the world. You hear the rumors that it's going to happen. You don't know for sure. There's so many rumors. You don't know if you're going to keep your job, if the compensation's going to be enough. It's a stressful time period. So the fact that they have kept this secret for so long from these people that are giving blood, sweat, and tears to start up this company, although we understand that's business. Oops. It's a, it's a little
Dropped my
unfair.
phone, I apologize.
So they plan a retreat where they can, become one and namaste with the staff and do yoga, and things fall through. So Joe hires
Surprise.
Maximo as the teacher. Let me tell you, the rage room.
I was
need
like, I
one.
need that.
Right?
That was
I
dangerous
was like, is
with
this
all
a real
those
thing?
tools.
Do they have
Great
this in
idea.
LA? Very dangerous. Because she also need a hard hat.
People
but-
are crazy in LA.
True
Let's
indeed.
not have
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to use the gun or the knife or the axe? No.
When is Joe gonna get tired of cleaning up Spencer's mess? Even though there's a $2 million
I was just gonna
payday
say, right,
at the
right.
end. What do you guys
Probably never. If you're getting money out of it, probably never.
I don't know. I think he is getting tired of it.
think? I think so too.
I think
I agree.
they had a great moment with that scene when they're talking at the bar because it's a very self-aware for him to label, like, he's like, I'm aware, I know I'm the greedy one. Like, that's how our relationship works. I'm the greedy one and you're the one that's grounded, and that's why we work well together. But if both of us are just greedy, we're just going to turn into those guys that we hate. And
the 1%.
Yeah, and he realizes that I don't, even with him in his lovable asshole way that he is that's just not going to be able to continue with the path that they're going down. So I think he's reaching that point of where he doesn't want to have to clean up after his mess anymore.
I agree. And I sometimes wonder, building this stadium, like, what is next after that? Like, wouldn't you kind of think about after you build a stadium or move a team? I mean, you can always manage players' money, but what happens after that?
True indeed. I guess this still is, though, the problem with managing the players' money is you still got to chase them. You still got to keep them there. You still got to keep them vested and interested.
Well, if they
in
couldn't
your
even
projects.
manage players' monies, how can they manage their own or something?
Well, I
of
guess
this
with the
nature?
stadium, you buy in, you give them your money. There's stock options or whatever, and the experts. Or those Spencer's supposed to be one of those experts.
Yeah,
Right, so I hope
it's kind of not
so.
making sense.
I think they're going to be more
not
involved
making
in terms
sense.
of planning events and things of that nature that are there, because it's not just the sports stuff. But
Like AEG, I guess,
Yeah,
here
and-
at Staples Center.
yeah,
Yeah.
concerts and whatever, what have you.
Speaking of Vegas, before we go on to talk about the player side, can we talk about Wayne Hastings' turn up for a second before we even get to the turn up?
sleazy.
Can we talk about
Travis
the
Scott.
billionaire and the butt naked hotties? I know that hotties is an O word, but I
like
don't.
it.
I was
No,
gonna
it's
use
perfect.
another H word, and I
like
thought,
it.
you know,
No.
let's not do that.
Yeah, no,
let's not do
like
that.
the
With the
Hotties.
Travis
And
Scott
Travis
line.
Scott.
I got the phone,
cameos.
baby. I'm like, oh my God.
Got to get the cameos in.
I mean, shout out to Young Thug, because, you know, he gave you a little bit of your chorus line, and him and
Oh.
Travis.
Oh,
I know you're home, baby.
okay.
No.
Lit.
You got to do the ad libs.
Yeah.
Well, you do one.
I did. I just
Yeah,
did.
no, I'm saying that's
Yeah.
what you do.
Anyway, so I think that's very true to these billionaires who have too much money and they want to hang around the cool kids, so they're gonna start
It
saying
is
the
just
rap
not
lyrics
working
and
out.
just setting it up for Candy. But he's all in now. I mean, he plays games. I feel like little power things to see people squirm. But Spencer said, "Hey, where are you at? We need the land. Use your the golf course that his dad died on." I mean, how crazy is that?
It's been weird seeing his character kind of transition, because at first I thought Mr. Hastings was a little more like behind the
Reserved.
desk, and then now we just keep seeing. I mean, his shirts, his robes open. It's now he has a little commercial on a horse.
That
I
commercial
mean,
was terrible.
He's like ready. He's ready for
Waynesville.
attention.
Is yes.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he did that commercial just for Spencer,
Right.
you know?
Well, I think it was for him.
I think his
then.
As
intention
one
is
does.
to show it to like the buyers and stuff
Right.
too.
Oh, okay,
because-
okay, marketing
Yes,
tool.
exactly.
Because
Got
he
it.
said,
okay.
like, you know, I'm gonna need the
an
pictures.
exciting
I need to tell these
promotion.
people what they're buying.
Okay. All right, shout out to Wayne Hastings
I think
getting
that's
it
part.
done.
That's part of the reason why
Hilarious.
it's
The
so
mystique.
over the top.
Yeah.
Because he knows people are gonna see it, so it's like perfect. We can't just do pictures. Let's get the helicopter so we can do the aerial shot.
Probably a drone.
As Spencer's like waiting
Yeah,
for the
drone.
photos. Just send me
Drone camera.
pictures. No,
love
no,
it.
he would get a helicopter.
You
That's
get a
what Hastings
helicopter,
did.
maybe both. I don't know. So, okay, so we have it set up where we now have a location for the stadium, the actual location where the stadium is really going to be. How clever is HBO? But back to the football side of things, let's talk about Charles and Seifert. Oh my God. That little battle is interesting. Why do you think Seifert is so opposed to forcing Charles to say his opinion, true or not, and then slamming him down? What's the deal with that?
I mean, I think it's we got to see an interesting power shift, because especially once, you know, Chuck learns that his new gig has been sabotaged, you really see the change that we've been like hoping for, where he decides to just stand up on his own and have confidence in himself. And it starts with his decision to go, well, you know what, fuck you then. I'm not gonna help you out. I'm not gonna. And so I think Seifert kind of catches on, and that's why he
Right.
pushes him, not because he cares what he's gonna say, but because that's what he's there for. You know, even if he knows he's right and he's not gonna agree because he's an ass, he still wants to know his opinion. He wants him around because he knows he's smart. He knows he's useful.
I think he
just
wants to
doesn't wanna
steal his
admit it.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I see
Definitely.
it as like, no, what do you think? Because then he's going to either go yes or no with whatever Charles thinks.
Yeah, and then turn around and say that it was his
Right.
idea.
Did you expect Charles to go to the owner, just completely jump over everything and unload the entire situation? He gave them, I'm talking too fast. He gave them the complete rundown. I was so excited for Charles.
Yeah,
I
because
was
he's
too,
been
but I
saying
wasn't
he was going to
surprised.
doing it.
Yeah,
He's been saying
it's
he was gonna do it.
exactly. Especially because of a couple episodes, he was like, "I'm leaving, I'm moving," because he gets these like spurts of energy where he's like, "No, I just gotta go, I just gotta do it." So I wasn't surprised at all. I was like, "It's about time."
And I think instead of moving, he might as well just stay there and try to get rid of
oh,
Larry.
absolutely,
That's going to be
yeah.
easier.
Safer, yeah.
Try to take his place, maybe.
Absolutely, and that's what I was saying, you know,
'Cause
a
he's
week or
doing
so
his
ago.
job,
Because
basically.
yeah, Seifert is definitely he's getting jealous, and he knows that he needs to stay on his P's and Q's because it's coming, and it is. So
But I'm very
can't
excited
wait.
to see
I'm very excited.
what's gonna happen, his retaliation, because you know,
Oh, it's
once he-
coming.
especially when he
Coming.
sees him in the end in the hallway, like it's on now. There's no more just subtle under the table jabs at each other.
It's
gonna
all out
get-
war.
did Charles want him to see that? I felt like he did.
I think so.
Because the
I-
way he
maybe.
looks back at him too, and I was
He
like,
hit him with the velvet
"Ooh,
shoulder
yeah."
too, over it like,
He did,
yeah.
I don't think that he really did want him to see that. I don't think he did. I think he's still a little afraid.
I didn't think he wanted him to see it. I think he might have wanted to see the result, but I don't think he wanted him to see it at that moment. I think he
because
wanted
that was
it to
his
be a
time
little.
to shine a little.
But also too, like it's not
I
like
also
they
don't
would
think he
bring him
cares.
on and go through all the work of like the paperwork of getting him on and
Why
getting him all
wouldn't
this
they?
without
They
him
fired a
knowing it
coach.
all. But no, I'm saying, but they wouldn't do that without him knowing at some point. Like there's no way they could have him in the building and go through all that stuff, and Seifert is completely unaware until like 2 or 3 weeks later.
But how do we know he had him in the building? How do we know that they didn't go to lunch and he came to the building to sign? It was already done.
Right.
Well, after that, who was the gentleman he was talking to? Was that one of the owners?
Yeah.
Who Charles was talking to?
With
at the end in the hallway.
In the hallway?
No, when they were in the room together.
yeah, that was the owner.
That's the
Right. So I think that once the owner found out that Seifert didn't even fire himself, at that point, there's no need to talk to Seifert. We can just do this without him.
Absolutely.
That's still your GM though. So if he's not planning on firing Seifert, these people have to work together in a close
Yeah.
capacity. So
That too.
I'm just curious to see how that's going to play out because it's going to be a problem.
Right.
A huge problem.
I have a question though. While we're
Yes.
on him, how did y'all feel about when the interview fell through? When he got that text message that his interview fell through.
I was a little sad.
I was disappointed because I wanted to
expecting-
see how it was gonna go.
I was hoping that he would at least get to the interview point and
Right.
maybe have to make a decision between that franchise and the Dolphins, and maybe then it got crushed.
But it's teaching him instead, fight
Yeah.
the battle that you're already in instead of walking
Yeah.
away, because you can still go to another team and have the exact same situation.
Message.
Well, and also too, he's got to get retribution also for them
Yeah.
sabotaging him. So
Yeah.
It's been a lot of that
I want to see
going
him just be able to
on.
like prove himself. You know.
it would be nice for it to have happened, but from a dramatic standpoint, I'm kind of happy
That it
happened
didn't.
the way it did.
And shout out to the writers at HBO because when they talk football, not that it's not their job, they really do bring up current circumstances. Like I know all you
yes.
Falcons fans were in your feelings when they brought up losing the Super Bowl and how they should have stayed with the run game.
Ooh.
You know, Seattle Seahawks fans experienced something like that. They also mentioned the Pats run game. So very true to form on this first NFL Sunday. I wonder if that was done on purpose.
Yes.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so let's go back really quickly to earlier in the episode. We see Ricky again. And we find out what's going on with Ricky. And it's not CTE yet. He's bipolar.
Yeah. That was.
How are we feeling about Ricky's bipolarness? Suzette, what did you think about that storyline?
Well, I mean, as a mental health advocate, which I really am, I have mental health in my family. This is one thing about the writers is sometimes I feel like we missed a scene before. So I loved to see him talking with a therapist. I would have loved to see maybe 1 or 2 more sessions of him going into his childhood or all of a sudden these demons about that were very, very dark that
open up.
as someone watching the show, I never really saw him as being dark, like maybe being aggressive, but I didn't see him having these dark demons.
sides,
So that
yeah.
didn't connect with me. So all of a sudden we find out that he's bipolar, like that just happened. I would have wanted to see him talking with the doctor, maybe not believing it, maybe fighting it, I don't know. It was a disconnect for me.
Because he was just like, okay, I'm bipolar, cool. When we can get back on the court.
I think
not the court,
it
sorry,
might
the
be a
field.
misdirect or like a misdiagnosis.
Cause
Oh, you think so? You don't
it's
think-
gotta be.
Yeah.
Because how does
No, but his dad has it. They have mental illness, so
But-
I don't think that.
Or I don't think that that's the cause of the memory loss. I don't
how
think
did he
that
walk
it's-
into
Yeah.
the wrong
Yeah.
house though? Bipolar
I'm agreeing. I'm
disorder?
agreeing.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
agreeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
I feel like they wanted to push you in one direction, kind of give you shades of CTE, but still visit something else that's relevant. In
But
the
we didn't
NFL,
really
but not
see any
go there.
super manic outbursts.
I don't think so either. It's just kind of. I feel like it was just an easy push.
It's easy because now he can still be signed because if he takes his meds, he's good versus having a brain injury, I suppose.
Yeah, and they won't want to
Right.
have him play.
That's why I think
That's
it's
exactly
a
what I was
misdirect,
thinking.
Right.
because I think it's going. They're
It's
going
on
to go.
purpose.
Oh, he's taking the medicine, everything's fine, and then he's not going to be fine, and then there's like more to it. That's
But taking medicine, I mean, we're going to see, if they stay true to it, we're going to see his personality really shift.
I mean, I think they're toying with that because that's one of his concerns about
Right.
getting on the medicine is what it's going to do to him physically, to his personality.
Now he's having a child. What if
yeah.
now this
Yeah,
child
how's
is
that
going to
relationship
have
gonna go?
maybe
Well, we don't even know where
bipolar?
Amber is. Does
That's
he
true.
know where Amber is? I mean, I know he knows she moved, but does he know where she
And you
moved
know that he
to?
cares
No.
about it, but he just doesn't even talk about it.
You know, which is weird to me because he just started caring for her, but one minute he was like,
Exactly.
"Oh, she's a pass around." Like, there's just big holes.
Or why isn't Dennis bringing it up?
Anymore.
Like, let's call Amber. What's going on?
Only so much we can fit in 10 episodes.
That's true.
I thought his scene with
Or
his
everything
dad
will be.
That
fit in
was
the last
yeah,
episode.
was
no.
really touching though,
Yeah.
and especially it's good to see it's good to see black fathers bonding with their black sons on television
And talking about medication and
talking
health.
about mental health,
because,
exactly,
yes,
because that's a serious issue. Like if you have to take any type of medicine or see therapy, it's like, oh, what's wrong with
that
you?
it's something terrible.
Yeah,
bad.
like it's that's what people, it happens.
Especially
when you
as the
get sick, you
suicide
take a
rate is
medicine.
climbing for black men
Hello.
currently.
Today
so-
is
Because
National
no one
Suicide
wants to
Awareness
talk
Day,
about
too.
it.
Maybe these things are planned.
Maybe.
That's I'm just saying, it can't be a coincidence that we had real football. Well, it's ballers, so that probably isn't too much of a coincidence. But maybe the idea that we talk about mental health awareness in this episode and that it was a generational thing, and that his father admitted that before I came to see you, sort of playing into the idea that the reason also why he wasn't a stable dad was because he didn't
Exactly.
have control of his illness.
Right.
And once he took
explains so
those
much.
steps, he was more open to being a father or at least dealing with those type of issues. So from that aspect, I appreciate
Me too.
those things about the episode and in that
Definitely.
conversation.
It makes me like the father character like 10,000
I appreciate
times
I
more.
appreciate the fact that he encouraged him to continue with his medication as well. Because sometimes, you know, in the black community, they're like, they got you on these meds. What is this for? Like, you don't need
You're not
that,
crazy.
You know?
Get that done. Calm
Exactly.
down.
But he
Da-da-da-da.
encouraged him, like, don't stop. You have to continue with that. So I really love that.
Yeah. And he came out and shook his little pill bottle. This moment.
I mean, it even explains a lot about his character too, and the way
Yeah.
he acts, and also just the way he came back into his life and like really wanting to be involved.
Definitely
because he's
growing.
in he's in a rebirth of sorts of like trying to get, now that he has his somewhat control of his life, he's trying to get his affairs back in order, and for him is reconnecting with his son.
So I really appreciate that because,
Yeah.
again, that's a theme that we don't largely see involving black fathers and sons. And it, like you said,
Especially
explains certain
also
pathology.
This idea too of like breaking the cycle that they're talking about, also
Right.
very, very good to see, very touching.
Well, they still have to break the cycle about being there for your unborn
Right.
child.
Well,
though.
Well, he's
hopefully.
trying to be.
Which
I
I
mean,
think he will
Hopefully.
push that. I think he will.
We're
I think
working
he's
on it.
trying to be.
We're trying to
I
get there.
think, and remember,
One step at a time.
Amber's character was picked up as a series regular, so.
So
We'll
we're
see
seeing
her
a
next
lot.
Come on.
A lot.
Yeah.
should be popped.
Okay, so now that we've talked about all that, we only have 2 more episodes to go, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Prediction time.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Nate. We're gonna start with you.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the only male on the panel.
It's the bus. I don't know. I mean, we talked about this a little bit before. I feel like they're not gonna sell ASM.
Yeah.
Like the guilt that Joe is feeling that he laid onto Spencer kind of is leaning me in that direction. But also, unless they resolve it like really well, I'm gonna be upset that we spent this entire season on this deal or something and then it doesn't happen.
Deal or no deal.
So yeah, I don't know. And even if they do, then they go back to what? Then we go back to season 1 and they just hang out with Ricky and solve all of his problems that aren't related to his finances. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Why are you stressed right
I
now?
don't know because she just threw me under the bus. I wasn't ready.
I
Also, I'm excited to see Chloe's reaction. 'Cause I want
yeah.
it to be good.
I
because
know Chloe's gonna be like,
was
you're
not-
trying to set me up, the setup, man.
I
The
don't think that
trap.
she's ready to have a child.
At
I don't think
all.
so either. But I just don't.
And when she finds
just
out,
don't find
if
her
she
reaction
finds
believable.
out the reason of why he did that is because now he knows that he has sperm, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because then he's doing
I mean,
it just to see
Can
if
you make
possibly
something that's like the worst?
No,
even
I
more
don't think
worse?
he's doing it just to see. I think he's doing it to get a child because
right. But when she
his time
finds
is
out,
time is
exactly,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're here.
Well,
let's
it's
go.
sad because when he was talking with the doctor, he said it's because he wants to leave his legacy.
Legacy, yeah, a lot of
all
legacy in this
about
So
episode.
selfish.
I do think they're going to sell ASM, but I think that they're not going to be able to build a stadium. Or if it does happen, I think Spencer will be out of the deal.
Once again, just
Like
like
Hastings
season
will
2.
just like
Exactly.
take over and cut him out or something.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
trife. I don't know. I don't know which way it's gonna go with them selling the company. I don't know. But I do need a rage room, though. If there's one of those in LA, if y'all see those things, like, tell
Hit
me.
her up in the comments.
Okay?
Ivanna L. Williams. You can add her on Twitter. She
I gotta
needs
let
that
some
release.
stuff off my chest.
Ooh.
You can talk about it here.
I know,
It's a
right?
free space. It's a safe space. But I guess the difference is you want to bang some stuff up.
Yeah, I do. I
Can't really do that.
I do, but I need a hard hat and some gloves, though. I need more protection. 'Cause
Right.
that girl there didn't have anything.
Protection in the ring.
Can we talk about the guy that was like, I almost killed somebody this morning? Is that just
That
the
was
stress
nuts.
He
from
was
being
so
at
weird.
an
I'm like, he don't
agency?
even need to work here, honestly. Like,
And it was
The
so
truth
funny
comes out.
when, what was his name, Brad? What was the guy's name that was at the company that came late, didn't go to the retreat, and he walked in the office like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
going
exactly.
shit going
Exactly.
on. I was like, because that's so
Everybody.
funny.
Texted the
'cause
group text.
as soon as
everyone.
I saw the office, I was like, this looks like something in the Matrix. And then he
It
this
does.
bug, and then he texted that, and I was like, oh my god. But with Ricky, like, I do want to see where he's gonna go. I guess we're not gonna, talk anymore about this baby stuff unless she
think
just
we
pops
are.
up at the very end. But how pregnant is she gonna be? I don't know. But like, you made a good point though. I do want to see how his how this medication is gonna be with his like physical abilities and his mental health and how that's gonna go. So I really want to explore that more. I do hope that we get to see him talk more in therapy, and maybe he can even have a group session with his dad and the therapist. I think that'd be very powerful. So that could help him navigate how he wants to be as a man, as a player, and as a father.
We will see the mother next season. I'm like
Yeah, I was gonna
100%.
say-
I thought
we
for a second
absolutely will.
the
There's
dad
just
was
no
gonna
way.
say something. I thought he was gonna say something about the mom.
I think that we might
During his
see
speech.
the mom in maybe episode 10 or
Maybe,
some
yeah.
tease
We
of
have
her.
to.
Because
I
it's
mean-
leading up to her appearance. I
She's
also,
gonna want to be there for him.
Yeah. I also think that Amber will come back around. She'll come back from where she moved to, or we'll see
Yes.
Ricky before he heads off into training camp going to sweep Amber off her feet. Bet you he'll have a ring or something crazy because he's impulsive. And
Right.
we haven't really seen him do that since he was trying to get old girl back season
Or
1.
he doesn't see her until after the off season when he's like
I don't think
stabilized and feeling better.
I don't think it's gonna wait that
They'll
long.
bring it
because
sooner.
Just because of where he's feeling right now, he doesn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not in that phase of his career where he wants to, abandon it. And also I think they want us to like him a little bit. We would hate him if he did that.
Well, but remember also that she left, so they could easily be like he calls her up and she's like, look, maybe later, but not right now. I don't want to see you. I don't want to tell you where I am or something.
Could be. It'll be interesting to see. I
We'll
think
see.
that Amber is not as tough as she plays to be.
I
And
think
she's
you're
kind
right.
of bold. So we shall see. Anyway, that's episode 8 of Ballers. Only 2 more to go. Ballers. Shout out to Jim
Ballers.
Jones, So make sure you're back with us next week, 9 o'clock for episode 9. 2 more to go, guys. We're so sad. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
If you are listening on iTunes, 5 stars, please. And make sure that you are following us, AfterBuzz TV. I'm Jill Munroe. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. I probably should have thrown it to Suzette first.
Oh,
but-
that's good. I'm Suzette. You can find me at Suzette Babb on Twitter and Instagram. Nate.
I'm Nate. You can find me on all social media at Dog Like Nate. Ivana.
Again, it's Ivanna Williams. You can follow me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams and on Instagram at Ivana.Williams.
And make sure you comment. Let us know what you think. If there's something you want us to talk about, we will make sure to attempt. Nah, we'll get back. We got you guys. We got
I'll talk to
you. We
you.
got you. So hit us up. We will see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.